Heyo.
Hey, yo.
No, this is
Welcome
Patrick.
back.
Uh,
Welcome back to the Nosebleed section. Part 2 of the All Ball podcast
Yeah.
here episode. Yeah, it's gonna be all basketball again this episode.
Sorry,
Last podcast we
got
talked.
to.
Yeah. Talked a lot of NBA draft last podcast. And now NBA free agency popped up. Next episode we'll do more baseball, Brewers update, MLB All-Star game, how the Brewers are looking, trade deadline, all that's coming up. Also fantasy football is coming up, so we'll talk about that. Some more NFL stuff, a little bit of Packers, and we'll see what else pops up. Maybe another trade happens. Did you guys see the Mavericks trades?
I was just gonna say we have darn near breaking news.
Did you see that?
Oh no.
Yeah,
We have breaking news. This is the first time ever in the Nosebleed section.
Yes.
Grant Williams is a Dallas Maverick.
Too bad by the time this is posted,
I like
it'll already be old news. But
Holy cracker. Are you serious? Who did they
Right.
what is
so
give me the trade?
three-teamer Mavericks get Grant Williams and they sign him to a 4-year, $54 million contract, which I don't hate it.
53 million, but yeah.
I'm seeing 54. So
53 and a half it is.
You
Spurs
guys are
get,
gonna have to check your sources on
yeah.
that.
So they get just Grant Williams. Spurs get Reggie Bullock and a 2030 unprotected pick swap from the Mavs. And the Celtics get 3 second
Good for them.
rounders. So the Celtics basically got a few second round picks for losing their dude. So I mean, they wanted a first, which I was like, okay. But yeah.
Right. That
Yeah, I thought
they
that
also
I thought that. No, my bad, Bryce.
sorry,
I just
Patrick,
thought
they
that
also just go
No, I
ahead.
insist after
you.
me.
I thought the Celtics asking for a first was just a way to up the cost
probably.
because he's not even a starter.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, maybe
Fringe
he is
starter-
on the
fringe
Mavericks.
starter. Yeah, he might
Fringe
be.
starter,
He was
sure.
he was a
Yeah.
closing guy for them. But they also just they need defense on that team. They also just
Yeah.
Matisse Thybulle just signed a offer sheet. He's a restricted free agent for the Blazers,
Yeah.
who we'll get to here pretty soon.
Yeah.
So that could be we could change some winners losers. I don't know if Grant Williams and Matisse Thybulle change our winner losers that are coming up later, but that's helpful for them. I'm not
Big
gonna
time.
lie.
Big time. Yeah. That's 2 of the best
So-
wing defenders in the league.
Yeah, I don't know.
Honestly.
You guys, we'll just start there then. Are the Blazers gonna are they gonna take Matisse Thybulle back or let him walk to the Mavs?
Who knows? The only
I mean,
thing I
it's
could
not like a big name, but he can be
Yeah.
a difference maker
but that's the thing.
on
The
a
only
Dallas
reason,
team.
the only thing I can see them matching is if he needs to be a trade chip. But
Right.
I don't know, can he? Even like so if they match that offer, can they subsequently just trade him right away? I don't know.
Yeah, which kind of makes me question Jeremy Grant. Can they trade him because they just signed him and make it a sign and trade? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not
So
sure on
should
that
we
either.
just go?
Should
Let's
know
go
that.
right into the Dame trades. So I don't have mine ready on the computer, so I don't know if you guys want to go first, if we're gonna try to screen share this, or what. But
Patrick, do you wanna screen share yours?
Sure.
All right. Pull it up, my friend. Yeah, so we're basically just gonna
long
Bro,
story
I'm-
short, Dame.
yeah.
I think how this all happened. So the Blazers came out after meeting with Dame and said, "Yeah, we're moving forward with Dame." I think Dame in that meeting said, "I'll give you the free agency. You sign these guys, and I'll come back." And I think Jeremy Grant was on that list, but it was Jeremy Grant plus somebody else.
Yep.
Or it was a bigger name. I think they said, "Okay, let's go get Jeremy Grant and then do what we can after that." Whether that was a Brook Lopez or whoever, a Fred VanVleet, that doesn't match, but but they really didn't do that. So at a couple days later, here's Dame saying, "Hey, I want to be traded, and I want to be traded to the Heat." So I don't know what you guys have, but I've been saying for weeks now that it's not going to be Miami, especially now since the deal hasn't been done because they've made their offer. I know they're looking for a third team,
Well,
but we'll get into it. So, Patrick,
yeah.
do you have a trade for Dame?
Yes, but it's been disabled by the host.
Oh no.
So Doug's got to change a setting.
Now
Oh.
Doug's fired
Ooh.
after I got fired. Patrick, enjoy the podcast.
Allow participants to share their screen. Try again, my friend. Yeah, so I'm not going to throw out a trade, but these two are, because mine are probably pretty similar. But I, just while we're waiting here, I think he's going to Miami because he's said it. I think it's a great living destination for him. I think it's a great instant contending destination for him. So I just think it makes the most sense. We're seeing your there
Okay,
we go.
there we go.
There we got
Beautiful, beautiful family. Welcome to YouTube.
So we got a Nets trade.
Yeah, I have to agree with you though, Doug. I feel that he's going to go to Miami. I think Miami should just wait though for the right move. I don't know
I think
why
I think that's what they're doing. And I read a report this morning too. There's like 6 teams that want to get in on the trade, not to get Dame, but just to get in on the trade and take advantage of the opportunity. So like the fact that there's that many teams that are just like, hey, we don't want Dame, we just want a part of this action, tells me it's gonna get done to the Heat. But if there's a second team that I think has any realistic chance, or any other team that has a realistic chance, I do think it's Brooklyn.
I kind of hated
by the way,
having to give up Nick Claxton, but he's tradable and his contract's super tradable
big time
for Portland. And I
just
actually feel like
him.
he's a decent fit in Portland.
Yeah, age-wise, everything else. You get Ben Simmons, it's a flyer. Like if he sucks, he sucks. Guess what? He's expiring next year.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I hate the whole Ben Simmons contract and everything, but yeah, the fact that he's expiring next year, like if the Blazers are giving up on Dame, they're not contending in 2 years. So
right, and then at the trade deadline, you can give up, in this case, Spencer Dinwiddie for $10 million to, there's a point guard out there that's going to get hurt, and even if not, he's a great backup. Like on the Bucks, that guy would be. We'll get to later, but there's a roster spot that we need to fill for a backup point guard. Spencer Dinwiddie, if he wasn't $20 million, would be an awesome backup for the Bucks.
Yeah. So my thought was that Dinwiddie could either be run the second unit or just be a decent like guy for Scoot to be around, at least in the short term.
I have heard though that he's kind of been a problem in the locker room. Dinwiddie.
Who's that?
Dinwiddie,
yeah, great.
Yeah, like he's like been consistently like highlighted as a bad teammate.
I still think it's good to have like a veteran that.
Oh, absolutely.
Just the way they play, even if he's not great. I don't love his game, but
yeah. No, I just know his divorce with the Mavericks was like they were ready to get him out of there.
So the Wizards too.
Yeah, right. So
yeah,
but I mean, yeah, like you said, you're not just going to make your whole trade based off of was this guy going to be a dick,
right? And
like
their picks aren't that good in Brooklyn, to be honest. Like Phoenix, hopefully will be contending. So, that could be a bad first rounder.
Right, but if you look at it, I don't think they trade the 2025 Phoenix. I don't think that's a good pick to trade. They have every other year for Phoenix all the way to 29. I think they hang on to the Phoenix one unless there's a third team or later on if Dame does come there for another piece, because that's not a very valuable pick. I think the 2027 Philly, they also have 2027 Phoenix. Those are valuable. And they also have 2029 Dallas and 2029 Phoenix. Those could be very valuable because, there's Kyrie there, then the whole Bradley Beal big three. What are you doing with this? Those are so I think you traded one valuable pick here with Nick Claxton. So I don't think that's quite enough.
But for Portland, they also get off Nurkic. I think that's probably the other big thing.
Yeah, that's a good kicker. Yeah.
What I see that levels out is Ben Simmons and Nurkic. I think those are two bad contracts.
Yeah.
So in return for Portland, in this case, they're getting Nick Claxton, which is a better fit, age-wise, defensive-wise, and just skill-wise, and getting off that Nurkic contract. Sure, you're getting Ben Simmons back, but throw him at the 3 and 4. Throw him out there as a forward. If he doesn't fit, bench him like
I'd
the
play him
Nets
at the
did.
5.
Yeah, as a backup 5, kind of like the Nets did. There's going to be no pressure in Portland.
Yeah,
I know people say, well, there's no pressure in
put that dude
Brooklyn.
all over the court.
After KD and Kyrie were gone, like nobody showed up for these. But
yeah,
it's still Brooklyn. I mean, you go to Portland, there's no pressure on you.
Mm-hmm.
Just be 80% of what you were in Philly. You don't need to make shots. Play really good defense.
Literally, don't shoot jumpers.
Yeah,
just
I know he's an.
Yeah,
he's also an oversized Scoot Henderson.
Yeah,
but if he's your backup point guard, what the hell?
Yeah,
you're getting off that Nurkic just one less year. Yep. And if you want to be bad next year anyways, because you don't own your first round pick, you got to be in the top 7. So if he's bad, good.
Yeah. And if he's good, honestly, if he has a pretty good year, either year, maybe people would actually go after him again and be like, wow, okay, so he clearly was just in his own mind-melting game here. Like the talent, like we obviously know he can be amazing. So like, even if he has a good year, God, his value could go back up like super easy, super quick for some of those really needy teams. But I don't see it happening. I'm just saying I think that is a possibility. What's your trade, Bryce?
So I'm still working on mine. So if you want to go first.
I don't have one. So like I said, I think I'm just gonna wait it out on this one because I think it's Miami and I think it's a 3-teamer. So I don't want to.
Did you guys see that the Nets created some cap space when they moved Joe Harris? They got a trade exception back from.
Yes. Yeah, it's like a $20-ish million trade. It was a big trade exception.
Right.
Yeah. But the only thing about so trade exceptions, they aren't as I don't think they're as highly touted as they are highly touted, but I don't think they should be as much as they are. Like you think like a $20 million trade exception, which is great, and yes, it is great, but it's only for trading. It's not like you can go out and sign
it's limited to use.
Yeah. It's kind of like in-store credit to a store. You know, like you can't, you got to return this shirt. It doesn't fit me. That's why we can only give you in-store credit. It's like, okay, well, I have my $20 back, but I can only spend it here. I can only do this much with it. So it's kind of, like it's a good thing to have, but it's like, yeah, I totally get what you mean. So and for the Nets, $20 million trade exception would definitely do dividends for Brooklyn, but again, Brooklyn doesn't get that $20 million. So
yeah. So I have mine ready. If you want to see it, I need to figure out how to share it.
Sure.
Give me just a second here.
We're rookies on this podcast. We got to have a producer in our ear telling us like, hey, on these like awkward silence moments, talk about this quick.
Right. Okay. So do I click record on this computer?
No, don't record. I'm already recording.
Click share screen.
Share screen on the bottom.
There it is.
Green button. Can't be missed. There she goes.
Can you see mine?
We can see your beautiful family.
Well,
a small chunk of it. A small chunk of it.
Small. Can you see it?
There we go. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go to try
Ooh,
trade.
And we get the product of the week.
What is that?
Sea salt.
Magnesium citrate.
All right. So here. I agree.
We did a 3. Oh, so you're doing a 3-teamer. I see.
I agree.
The wrong team.
If Dame goes to the Nets, it's basically Portland. So,
can I say this is can I say that Bryce and I really wanted to do a segment where we spun a wheel and landed on a random team and Bryce would fix that team, and he just did that with the Nets right here.
I believe.
Well, there you go. Here's the first
this will be an example of this. During the NBA season, we might do this. Anyways, so Dame going to the Nets, sure. It might not be better than what Portland was with CJ McCollum. But in this case, if you've heard rumors, Pascal Siakam has been kind of fighting with the youth in Toronto. And quite frankly, he doesn't fit the window, and he's an expiring contract.
Yeah, I don't know why he's still there.
Well, they re-signed Pirtle, so
yeah, but he's a young center.
Well, yeah, now they got him and Scotty. They don't need Pascal.
So I don't think this is the exact trade, but it's basically Damian Lillard and Pascal Siakam going to the Nets. It's Ben Simmons, OG, and Dorian Finney-Smith going to the Blazers with all those picks, and then Spencer Dinwiddie and Yusuf Nurkic, and then a bunch more picks. Who says no to this? Probably the Raptors.
Yeah.
There's a different version.
You could do more to make this better.
Right.
So
and them, the Raptors re-signing Pirtle makes Nurkic going there kind of weird. Mm-hmm. But they could be interested in Dorian Finney-Smith. Maybe there's also
Cam
just
Thomas
a straight
going from the Nets to the Raptors.
I don't think they can because he was a restricted free agent and they just signed him.
Oh, okay. Just like I'm thinking like a young, maybe Blazers have to get off of Shaedon Sharp.
Yeah,
something.
For OG,
I think it could be done. Yeah, so you're swapping out OG for Shaedon Sharp. Yeah.
This is one of the 50 trades I've shown you. You guys don't believe Dame going to the Nets by himself is enough. Which
Trust me, I would like to see this. I think this would be a wicked Nets team. And I would love to see Dame on the Nets. I think him and McCall would be so much fun. I just think it's going to be Miami because he's pretty much said he wants it to be Miami.
And, maybe the Blazers or the Raptors hang on to OG and they get Dorian Finney-Smith instead. And the Blazers send Nurkic to the Nets, which you could send out more. I mean, you got Cam Thomas, you got Day'Ron Sharp. You got a few other contracts you can ship out. I just think between these three teams, there's a trade. There's also just, hey, Damian Lillard for Ben Simmons, and you see all these picks that I have on this screen. Like, take them all for Ben Simmons for Damian Lillard.
Right.
And then figure it out later. Then you can trade your Spencer Dinwiddie and your Dorian Finney-Smith in the middle of the season when, our center position's weak. There's 100 options the Nets could do. I've all month have been trying to fix the Nets because I think they have their wings.
They're two moves away, two big moves away,
which means a lot, but really they have the assets and everything else to do that. Usually a team gets like the Suns, for instance. Okay, they got Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal. Well, you got an entire roster to fill out. In this case, the Nets have their entire roster filled out. They just need their Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, which sounds, that's a bigger task to figure out, but
they need their Drew Eubanks, but
yeah. The Nets though have the assets and tradable pieces and the picks to
they might as well watch out.
I'd say watch out next year. I'd say give them another year, a better free agent class, another trade deadline.
Yeah, I agree.
Not this next coming season, the following off season.
That's why I thought maybe just go get Dame, prove you're a good team, and then sign somebody next season.
Yeah, maybe.
This gives you an extra year to contend. Anyways.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on Dame.
Yeah. Well, that's the biggest one.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think we need to spend this much time on it because I don't think this dude deserves as much time because it's like the 90th time this has happened.
I have a great take on Harden. You're bringing up James Harden?
Yep. Let's hear it.
Yeah, because Bryce asked us to find a trade for him. And my answer is who? I don't know. I tried to, and I'm like, who is? I don't even know why the Clippers are. I can't get over that.
The Clippers are desperate.
Yeah,
they either need to win because they're opening a new arena. So let's not do trade options for this. I'm just going to say, if I am the Sixers, I say you give me Norman Powell, and Terrence Mann to start.
They just said today they're not giving up Terrence Mann.
Okay, then you
Which I'm Norman. Like, okay, what are you gonna give up then?
Right, Norman Powell for sure. You got to include either Brandon Boston or who's the other young guy they got. Another. You need to get two young.
Yeah, Amir Coffey maybe.
Amir Coffey.
Yeah,
and they got that Jason Preston point guard. Just a couple young guys. And then they got 2 picks. They could throw in a pick swap.
Bones, I don't know.
I don't think the Harden trade happens until the Dame trade is done.
I agree.
Unless
I like that take.
there is a 3-team trade where they're both involved, and it involves Dame going to the Sixers and Harden going to the Clippers.
Maybe Philly's is Philly a team to get in on the Portland Miami trade? But that would mean sending James Harden to Portland. That wouldn't make sense.
The only other trade I liked the Dame Miami trade that I like for Brooklyn as a third team is getting Tyler Hero as their point guard, because we just talked about it. They have Spencer Dinwiddie as their point guard, and he's an expired contract and doesn't fit the timeline. Yes, Tyler Hero doesn't play defense, but I think him as your point guard with 3 wings out there that are 6'7" to 6'9", and then Nick Claxton are all defensive guys. Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson can also help on the offensive end. And then you just have Tyler Hero kind of as your Wizards Jordan Poole going out there scoring as much as he can, but at least he has defense behind him and expectations. I don't hate that trade. And if that trade happens, then Nets might be my second favorite team.
I'm looking at this Clippers roster right now, and they've made it abundantly obvious that, well, Marcus Morris, Nick Batum, and Robert Covington are available. And it's like, yeah, no kidding. They're all like old dudes on expirings. Like,
which, they're good role.
Yeah, they're great wings to have for sure. But like, yeah, we expected them to be available.
It'd be different if they had the Nets picks.
Yeah.
They have 2 picks they can trade, and then a swap.
Amir Coffey's 20, and then Amir Coffey's like at best the 10th guy, so I don't even know why I'm giving him that much. But like, he's already 26. Bones is only 22. Like, even though he's kind of seems like he's a dum-dum.
Like on the Raptors, though, I try to involve that Gary Trent Jr. to go into one of the teams, but that guy's only 24. Like, he fits the Raptors timeline.
Yeah, he does. I
didn't realize he was 24. I'm like,
me either. He must have came in at like 19 or 20 because, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that Clippers roster is just. I think James Harden would help. I'm not going to lie. He's at least going to play, and he's going to facilitate, depending on how many guys you send out.
He did lead the league in assists this year. I mean,
he's a great point guard. I don't think he's your shooting guard because he takes away from your point guard, which if you have a point guard out there, James Harden, he's probably going to be either smaller or just a shooter or something. So that basically takes your defensive point guards away.
Like an Anthony Simons. Oh,
right.
Send him to Portland. There you go.
There you go. James Harden for Dame.
Well, I don't want to spend too much time on Harden. I think he probably gets traded, probably to the Clippers. I probably won't care that much, and I probably won't be that scared of the Clippers or the Sixers.
Yeah.
I'll probably have the same opinions of them as I did last year, because Paul George and Kawhi are not going to play full time. One of them is going to miss playoff minutes, and the Sixers are going to continue to be the Sixers, which is great for me because I'm a Bucks fan.
You guys watch last thing on this. You guys watch First Things First with Nick Wright and Chris Broussard?
I've watched some of it. I've seen.
So that's one of my favorite shows. They keep talking about Dame is going to go to Miami because any player that ever asks for a trade request goes to the place he wants to go to. He's not going to go to Boston because he doesn't want to go to Boston. He's not going to go to Philly because he doesn't want to go to Philly.
Yeah.
Well, Miami doesn't have the package, is what one of the guys says, Chris Broussard. Well, he also did say he wanted to go to Brooklyn. Well, that wasn't his top destination, but I think he'd
top
be happy.
Did he only had 2, right?
Yeah.
And and Spurs, which he's not going to go to Spurs.
Really?
I tried. That was the first thing I tried to make work because
that makes no sense.
But I love the idea of watching him and Wemby, but I couldn't.
There's a decade
make
and
it
a
work,
half
that
age
would
difference.
be amazing.
The Spurs have no salary to give back. You would have to get a third team, and then it just got.
Then it becomes.
You got Doug McDermott's, but then you'd have to give up either Keldon Johnson, or Devin Vassell, which if you're trying to win, you're not going to give those guys up.
Could they go out and sign some dude for a massive 1-year contract that doesn't deserve it and throw that to money to match the money,
Yeah, but this is 2K. You can't do that.
they have the picks, but they can't match the salary, so you're trying to get a third team involved, and then they're just giving away some of those assets to that third team,
right?
Which doesn't make any sense.
And then the new story comes: who retires first, Dame or Pop, because they're old. They're both old. And Wemby isn't even 20 yet, so that makes zero sense. But
yeah,
back to my original point, I think he's going to end up in Brooklyn because I think that's the middle team. Like, yes, he wants to go to Miami, but he thought about Brooklyn. He doesn't want to go to Boston or Philly, and they don't have the assets, and Miami doesn't have the assets. So who's the team in the middle? Brooklyn. So I think he's going to end up in Brooklyn. I think James Harden's probably going to end up in Clipper land. Sorry, but
yep.
We didn't talk about the Knicks at all. I don't think either one of those guys fits the Knicks. I think Joel Embiid going to the Knicks.
That's the big rumor, right?
After this season, depending on what they get out of James Harden, would be a bigger rumor next year. But that's my final predictions: Clippers and Nets.
Yeah.
Yep, I would agree.
Oh, well, that's enough on that.
Wait a minute. I think he'll go to. I think Dame will go to the Heat. That's my prediction.
Oh, same. Yeah. Yep.
But I'd love to see him on Brooklyn. That's my want.
Same. Yep.
I just don't see the third. Go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, it could be anyone on the third team. So that's why I didn't want to make an official prediction, just because it's like it. Who knows at this point? I never would have expected Grant Williams to go to the Mavs. So we're just going to run through some winners and losers of free agency. We don't need to list off all the signings because there's so many of them. All you'd have to do is just go Google it, NBA free agency signings. There's so many. So much money has been spent. But we're just going to go through like our personal winners and losers. And within that, we'll probably touch on most of the big ones anyway. So
if you two would like to go first, because I could cover whoever you guys do not as my winner or loser. Let's do winners first. You agree?
Yep. Patrick, you want to do your winner first or me?
You go first because I tried to pick a Zag. I feel like me coming out the gate with this one won't make any sense.
Well, I kind of did pick a Zag. I cheated a little bit. I was Googling like winners and losers free agency because I have a bad memory, and I was like, I want to go not a player and not a team. And I found a really good one. It's the draft class of 2020 is my winner. Because
so who's in that class?
So Desmond Bane just got paid. LaMelo Ball just got paid. Tyrese Halliburton just got paid. Like that draft class just got some big time bucks. And considering how they came into the league with COVID and all that stuff, like good for them. So
all right.
I'm like right now is a great time to be coming off of a contract this year and next year. So that's my winner. And I like pretty much all those players too. Halliburton's one of my favorite players in the league, so I was really excited to see him cash up.
Yeah, I liked Halliburton, and Desmond Bane's always. I wanted the Bucks to draft him so bad.
I wanted both of them. Yeah, and because Halliburton slid in the draft. Halliburton probably would have been like a super high pick had he not like pretty much been injured his entire last year before the league, because
I think we're texting too.
Obi
like
Toppin went before him.
Yeah, right. I think was Halliburton like the 11th pick or something? He was like 10 or 11. 13?
I think he was 13.
He was late lottery, I think. Yeah.
Another 13th pick: Tyler Hero, Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that's
not a jersey number, but it counts. I feel like it counts.
Oh, we got to do a jersey number before the end of the pod.
Oh yeah,
Keep going. Who's your winner, Patrick?
I agree with you, Doug, but go ahead, Patrick.
My winner is the Pacers. So they got Bruce Brown. They gave Halliburton the max, and then they got Obi Toppin in that sign and trade. So here's their potential starting lineup. It's Miles Turner. I almost said Evan Turner. Miles Turner, Obi Toppin, Buddy Hield, Halliburton, Mathurin, and then your bench is pretty solid with Brown, McConnell, Nembhard. Maybe you get a little Jarris Walker action out of the draft. And I just like the flexibility they have now with some of those. Like they can still trade Hield and Turner if they start sucking. But I just think they'll be frisky. Like I think they could at least compete for a play-in or a playoff spot. Yeah, I don't really think they'll be bad. I think they're better than they were. Well, last year they did stink. I think they're much better than that this year.
So I thought
I went kind of simple. Like I like that they chose to get better this year. And at the same time, they locked up Halliburton and they can keep developing Mathurin.
Mm-hmm.
I thought for sure they were going to land Harrison Barnes, who I predicted was going to get 18 million, and I thought that was on the low end. So good by the Kings. I'm not going to say they're winners because that's really all they've done so far.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good resign.
I thought they needed a true small forward because Bruce Brown could play the 3. He could kind of guard 1 through 4, but he's an undersized small forward, or he's a not as skilled point guard. Really,
you don't think Buddy Hield, true small forward?
No, I think he's a true shooting guard.
Why not? Yeah.
So
I don't know if Buddy Hield's even going to be on this team next year.
I was just going to say,
no, for sure.
He might get traded straight up for Gordon Hayward and a couple picks. Just say, hey, Charlotte, if you want to just go for it, you got Brandon Miller and Miles Bridges now.
Yeah.
Gordon Hayward doesn't fit your timeline. I know Buddy Hield doesn't, but at least he can shoot and he'd give you trade value. Give us Gordon Hayward. He's a true small forward. I would keep Mathurin as your 6th man and then start Bruce Brown at the 2 next to Halliburton. This just came off my mind after you said Pacers, but
yeah,
and Hayward's been linked to Indiana for a long time.
That's true. I like how I was kind of going simple. They haven't gotten a lot of talk, but I thought those moves were decent. I mean, you guys can talk about I liked what the Cavs did bringing Strus in too. I thought
that's another one. He's not a true small forward though, and they need another true small forward.
It's funny.
I feel like they have an abundance with having Allen and Mobley that they could maybe live a little bit without a true small forward.
That's what they thought last year, and it didn't work at all. And then I was like, okay, all you need is a true 6'8" Chris Middleton type. That's
Niang, Big Bang, George. Niang.
Yeah, but that's the other thing.
I'm just joking. That's a joke.
But that's like Markkanen running the 3 in Utah. That doesn't work great. They don't have so they have like 5 different options. You can throw a Coro out there who is kind of your typical small forward, but you're getting no offense out of that.
Yeah, he did not work in the playoffs.
Right. Or you could throw Strus out there, who's 6'5" and really a shooting guard, but he's going to work his butt off on defense, and he's a good shooter. But they did overpay him. And they have 2 6-foot shooting guards. So it's just, I like them getting Strus, but not as their replacement for the starting small forward. And they got LeVert back, which great, but he's also kind of like a Strus.
I didn't like the LeVert or Strus contract, and unfortunately, Patrick, I didn't like the Bruce Brown or the Obi Toppin contracts.
I don't like the contracts. I don't want to get. I just like teams trying to get guys to get better.
Yeah, actually, and they got better, and I think those are good guys to have on a roster. But I worry Bruce Brown's not going to be as good without Jokic.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Like
he's a cutter, man. Like that dude. And Bruce Brown on the Nets was awesome. So I'm not saying like
Halliburton's right there.
I
think Halliburton's a great passer.
But man, when Joker has the ball in the high post and he Bruce Brown cuts to the low block or anything along the baseline, like Joker finds him every time. And honestly, ironically, if Sabonis was on this team, it probably would work. Because he's a great passer as well. But I don't know. Bryce, we got 4 minutes left on this round. Do you want to do your winner quick?
Yeah, I'll just say maybe if the Pacers traded Turner and Hield for somebody, the Lakers or somebody, and then they kept Sabonis, Bruce Brown would fit great in this team. Other people.
Do the Lakers want Buddy Hield? I've never heard that.
I think the Lakers are done, man. Yeah, right.
Okay. I was just joking about.
Speaking of Lakers,
that's been rumored for 3 years.
A lot of people think they are winners. I don't love D'Lo. Sure, you got him on an okay contract, but nobody was going to pay him that.
Yeah.
Everybody loves
this contract, but
everybody loves this Austin Reeves stuff. No, he's an okay player.
Who's your winner? Who's your winner? Let's hear it.
Well, first of all, Fred VanVleet's a winner. The biggest contract this offseason, and he's getting more than 2/3 of the league.
Oh, he's getting more than that.
Anybody that signed
more than 95% of the league.
Yeah, anybody that signed with the Houston Rockets is a winner. Like Jeff Green could have signed back with the Nuggets, But Houston's like, we'll give you $6 million. He's like, I was thinking about retiring, but okay. Dylan Brooks,
20
they
per.
they could have give him a 2-year for 20. Nobody was gonna match that. I don't know. That's just horrible. I think honestly, with what they were working with after the trade for Bradley Beal, I think the Suns are winners. They had no money to work with, and they went out and got 3-point shooting, lengthy wings, and guys that just fill spots. Like Josh Okogie, they brought him back. He's a great fit by Beal, Booker, Ayton, and Durant. That's going to be your starting five with Josh Okogie. And then Yuta Watanabe. I wanted the Bucks to get him. He's like 6'9", can shoot the ball, good defender. He hustles.
KD pushed hard for that signing.
Right. So they got him.
Yep.
Who else did they get? Oh, they got Eric Gordon. Like
that was the big one.
That dude can play small
minimum.
Forward.
They got him on a minimum. Dude made like 20 mil last year.
Yeah. Metu from the Kings. That guy can play small ball 5. He's lengthy. He can shoot the 3. Bates Diop. That guy.
Kata, regular season guy. Yeah.
Coming in, you guys
he could be right. He could be like another Bruce Brown.
Could be.
He's the next breakout playoff guy, I think.
Ooh,
right.
I like it.
Yeah. So they sign guys with potential, not just old vets that you're throwing out there for 4 minutes, like a DeAndre Jordan, Ayton. They signed guys that have potential and want to win who haven't gotten rings yet. Like Eric Gordon's going to work his ass off because he hasn't won a ring yet. And he's best at the small forward position. Like look at him in Houston when they played small ball.
Yeah, he was the 3. Yeah.
He's quick. He's quicker than most small forwards, but he's got the body to you're not going to back him down, and he's got some wingspan. I always wanted that guy in the Bucks. So,
well, we got 30 seconds, and then I'm going to cut you off. Do you want any last thoughts on winners before we jump into the losers?
Nope.
All right, let's just jump into losers then. I went first last time. Bryce, you want to do your loser quick? We're not gonna deep dive into losers like we did winners, I don't think. But the Bucks.
The obvious loser is the Portland Trail Blazers, not because
I should have went first. No, I gotta find another one.
Not because of Dame.
Maybe I'll share with you.
But they signed Jeremy Grant to a stupid deal.
That was mind-boggling.
Like I'll take Chris Middleton for the same amount of years.
I like Jeremy Grant. Don't get me wrong, but what are you doing?
When the Kings signed Harrison Barnes to $8 million, and you signed Jeremy Grant to $32 million for
5 years?
For 5 years, like that's not even a good trade chip,
right? Like who's ever gonna? Yeah,
even if Dame stayed, that's a bad contract. Like if Dame said, "Okay, that's who I wanted you to keep. Thank you." Bad deal. So
I agree.
Just and the fact that they didn't trade Dame and then address
at the deadline, even is what I was gonna say. Like now that you get to this point, you're like, man, we should have just traded this dude when we could have gotten a buttload for him and avoided all the free agency frenzy. And
knowing that you have Scoot now makes a difference, but.
Yeah, but if you would have known then you trade away Dame, you're going to get a top 3 pick. Right. Like I think everyone could pretty confidently say that. I know there's the lottery, I suppose, so you can't necessarily say that, but like you had a top 3, you would have guaranteed had a top 3 chance. Did they have a top 3 chance at the pick?
No, they moved up. That's why.
Oh, okay. So they did get a little lucky then, I suppose. But
yeah,
they could have done absolutely worse without, even though he got like shut down though. So I don't know what I'm saying, but I think they still could have gotten massive hauls for him and then use those trades maybe to trade up to get Scoot. I don't know, but yeah,
I think trading him in is weird. Season's better. Trading him in an off season's better, which is besides the point. Just the Jeremy Grant deal is horrible.
I think trading him more for someone at the deadline though.
I'm the opposite. I think
people have less time to think about it. They start freaking out and make bad deals, but.
Or what you can build around somebody in the offseason is what I'm getting. Like Miami, at the deadline, they didn't have hopes to win a championship or make the finals.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't going to give up what they gave up. Tyler Hero was healthy. They probably would have declined the trade that Portland is declining now. Tyler Hero, this year's pick, 2 future firsts and a swap, plus Duncan Robinson or Kyle Lowry. Like, if I'm Miami at the trade deadline, it's like, does that make us better? I mean, we're not that good. So,
yeah.
Anyways, Portland's my loser.
All right.
Yeah, it just seemed like they wanted to hold on to Grant, so they signed him.
Yeah,
and hopefully they can trade him. But
you could have you could have made him a better trade chip by offering him 40 a year for like 3 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to spend the money, fine, but like the length of that on top, like 32 million by this time next year really isn't going to be that bad. But like no one's going to take.
Yeah, but Jeremy Grant's going to be like 37 in that 5th year.
Right.
$32 million. That's
yikes. It might even be more than that. I don't know how it's laid out. Maybe
I think it is pretty even, but a guy like him does not age well in the league. Like he's He's like a I don't know, poor man's Giannis at the very poorest man's.
He can shoot though.
Not very well.
I'd say he's a significantly better shooter than Giannis.
Sure, but that's the only thing, and that's the only thing Giannis is not very good at.
Yeah. Patrick, who's your loser?
The Nuggets. Lost Brown, Jeff Green, and then they signed Reggie Jackson. They used the taxpayer mid-level to sign Reggie Jackson.
Yeah, bringing back Reggie Jackson and DeAndre Jordan was horrible.
But like, Jackson, he made less than $1 million last year.
Yeah, I was gonna say
he made and this year he's gonna make $10 million. He's gonna get a 2-year deal for $10 million.
Well, you could have got Jeff Green for that. You could have got Jeff Green for that, who actually played for you.
Yeah.
Right.
He was like 6th or 7th in minutes. I think 7th in minutes during the playoffs.
It's a very classic example of we just won, so we have to run it back. Otherwise, we look stupid.
But they lost Bruce Brown.
But they didn't.
I know. Yeah, I know. And they lost. Or no, Jeff Green was the other one I was thinking of. Yeah.
They signed Justin Holiday, who I think they're hoping can be 25% of Bruce Brown, and then Christian Brown can be the other 75% or whatever.
I think they're really expecting big things from Christian Brown is what that says.
And I think they're hoping Michael Porter Jr. steps it up.
Yeah.
That's their biggest thing.
For how much he's getting paid. Did they
right? Because all their starters are returning.
Right.
But he did not show up. He didn't play like a starter. He wasn't even a closer in some of those finals games.
Bruce Brown was basically that 5th guy, so that's a big loss, and they didn't replace him, and they signed. I mean, if I'm the Nuggets, all right, Reggie Jackson, DeAndre Jordan, you guys got your title. Get the hell out of town now. We're gonna go sign. Hell, go get some young guys or anybody with like DeAndre Jordan's been washed for years. Reggie Jackson, sure, he's a middle of the season, go play 10 games for us, but no, for $5 million, you could have signed him for the minimum if you wanted him back. Nobody else is going to give him any money. It's a bad deal.
They didn't have any draft picks. They drafted one dude, but traded him to the Lakers. I guess they got that Hunter Tyson from the Thunder in the trade. And they got Jalen Pickett from Penn State. So they made a decent draft trade. Yeah, actually, and Julian Strother from Zaga. So they actually got 3 rookies.
Right, they made a decent draft trade, but their free agency wise, definitely losers.
It just overall offseason. Yeah.
Especially Michael Malone's like, Brucey B's coming back, and no, he's not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
He could have
hell no. He said hell no. Is he leaving?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah.
He could have done the Bobby Portis and signed back for 7.8 and then got the 3-year deal afterwards, and he didn't do that. I mean, especially when the Pacers are going to offer you almost $23 million a year. I mean,
the Michael Porter contract kind of ruined it, honestly. Because Jamal needs his money, Joker needs his money.
And if I was born in Denver, Colorado, instead of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, right now, what I would be preaching to you guys is we need to trade Michael Porter Jr. Just like I said, we needed to trade Brooke Lopez and Chris Middleton. This is the most value you're going to get out of him. Maybe not because he didn't have a great finals. Maybe I'd be begging for push him in the beginning of the year. Like give him every shot, give him every this, give him every that, and then trade him for pieces. That's what I'd probably be saying, honestly.
Yeah.
But
we'll see with a fully healthy offseason for once. I think it'll be the first in his career, hopefully. But
he had one then last year. He came in healthy this year.
Yeah, but I think he started slow in the offseason process, if I remember right. I could be wrong on that, but he was coming off of that, injury plague season. So, yeah, I think.
Who do you got, Doug?
Well, I was preparing my argument for Portland, but you set it up very well. I'll just do a very quick one, Philly, just because they are like basically strapped on what they can do until they figure out all this Harden crap.
I think that's the best case scenario for Philly, though.
I mean, the fact that he opted in almost like was dumb on his part. Maybe he's not like sticking it to Philly either, because him and Daryl Morey they're bros, but like
I think the Houston stuff was all smoke, and once they hired Ime Udoka, he's like, I don't want James Harden here.
Well, and Jalen Green like made those comments, and Harden didn't like that. It's like, well,
I think Harden had
Jalen Green just saved the Rockets.
I don't think Philly as either. I don't see Philly as a big loser. I think him opting in is the best case scenario for them. Otherwise, you're going to give him a 3-year max at the best. Like,
yeah, but honestly, I would have just kept him. Like, had he not demanded a trade, him and like he led the league in assists this year. I mean, him and Embiid is a good basketball combination. It's a great basketball combination. But now all this stuff with Toby, like, it's a sticky situation. And once again, another like great example of when you have an MVP caliber player on your team, who was the MVP in Embiid, and you don't have a great atmosphere or chemistry surrounding him. This is the kind of stuff that happens. Like I say it over and over again, like how Giannis is such a great dude, but also the Bucks they have high demands on the characters they bring into their locker room. And it really speaks volumes because you don't hear about this stuff happening with the Bucks. Players punching teammates at practice and guys demanding trades and yada, yada. Like the biggest thing we had was 90-year-old Serge being pissed because he wasn't getting playing time. So he spent more time bitching about it on his cooking show.
Yeah.
like that's the worst thing we've heard. So
what about Larry Sanders?
Yeah, well, that was a while ago.
Okay.
That was the Herb Cole days. We don't need to go into that.
in the new CBA, they're allowing marijuana use now, so maybe he'll make a comeback.
Right. There you go. Let's do a product of the week, and then move.
Product of the week. Speaking of the Philadelphia 76ers, Tobias Harris.
Reveal our product of the week right there.
Crumble cookies.
Boom.
They don't pay us, so
free pub.
They're good. They're good cookies. Tobias Harris brought it up. We're moving on now. Look at that. Under 1 minute, Doug.
Real quick, do you have a favorite flavor? Oh my gosh, I can't talk tonight. Favorite flavor of crumble?
Not really, because they always
there's too many. There's too many flavors.
Yeah. I never go out and buy them. I just like go to a party or something. Oh yeah, crumble cookie. I'll eat a quarter of one.
Oh, any ones that are with like lots of frosting on the top. It's basically a cupcake. It's like a soft cookie cupcake.
Yep.
They have caramel ones that are really good, but yeah. So, but if anybody doesn't know, Tobias Harris made a big, I don't know, his interview, I guess, and Philadelphia 76ers fans really want to trade him. He goes, yeah.
He was tired of hearing that.
Yeah. He's like, they basically trade me for a crumble cookie. And then somebody online said, hell, I'd trade you for the wrapper it comes in. He goes, well, it comes in a box. Well, it turns out Tobias Harris has like some investment in crumble cookies. So
there you go.
And I like crumble cookies, so I figured why not product of the week? There you go. 1 minute. Moving on to the
perfect.
Let's be honest.
Let's be honest and talk about these Bucks. I have been longing for this moment to be so excited to recap that the Bucks are bringing back Brook Lopez and Chris Middleton. You two have had your hesitations. I have at points, but I've always stuck to the fact that what's best is to bring them both back. And even though I think these were overpays in a vacuum, they were good deals.
I think the years are nice. Chris Middleton got
both of them are very nice.
Chris Middleton got 3 years. He probably could have got 4. Brook got 2 years. He probably could have got 3.
Mm-hmm.
But the money I don't love. Like Chris Middleton's third year player is a player option. as Ryan Rosillo would say, he's probably going to opt into that.
Yep.
And then Brooke Lopez.
Well, he's definitely going to, because that's the highest. That's a 36 or 37 mil.
Exactly. I would have done the opposite. I would have kept it even.
Yeah.
I would have kept it even. Unless you're going to throw a first-round pick.
But what I think they're thinking about, though, is that year will be the year after Drew's contract expires. So, because Drew's getting 37, not this season, but next.
Sure, but you got to replace him somewhere. Like,
right.
This is all gonna fall down to nothing in 2 years if we don't win another championship.
Yeah.
That's what I don't love.
But you got to do it. You
don't have to. You could have made moves. You've had 3 years now to make moves to keep Giannis happy. Sure, he's not going to be happy right away. He wasn't happy when we fired Jason Kidd, but guess what? We got a title after that. He wasn't happy when we traded a couple people. I can't remember who, but guess what? He got over it. If you traded Chris Middleton, let's just say, to the Kings, especially for that Harrison Barnes deal, $18 million, and the Kings had the space, the Kings probably would have saw that as an upgrade. And we would have they would have had to throw in like Davion Mitchell to make salary.
Which they wouldn't.
Or Kevin Huerter to make.
Which they wouldn't.
You don't know that. They didn't play.
Those are the young studs of their team. They love those dudes.
They would have given up one of them. They would have given up one.
I would agree with Kevin Huerter. They probably wouldn't give him up. Unless we throw in the Grayson Allen. I just think Giannis, sure, you're going to be mad, but what are you going to do? Request a trade? We're not going to trade you. We want a title. We're going to run it back. You're going to play. You're going to get over it.
But you got to remember, too, though, signing trades. I mean, look at this Grant Williams thing. The Celtics were lucky to get 3 seconds out of him. And I know that's a significantly lesser player, but like sign and trade deals aren't even swaps like they are at the deadline or perceived.
Yeah, because that's
like we're doing you a favor by allowing you to sign him first so we can get him, but we're not giving you much because we got,
But that's Grant Williams. That's a guy that came off the bench.
But even so, like you can't say like you guys sign Middleton and we'll give you a equal value player back on a smaller contract or slightly lesser value player. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the same thing with bringing back Brooke for so much money too. Otherwise you would have lost these guys for nothing. And we couldn't offer this much money to these guys. We couldn't have offered that to outside free agents. We could offer these big deals to these guys because they were our free agents.
Oh, I know. That's why I wasn't rooting for the Rockets to sign either one of them, because then we would have got nothing back.
Right.
But if like Brooklyn, going all the way back to the beginning of the podcast for the Dame thing. If they said, all right, we got Dame, we need a true center. Milwaukee, you want to take one of these like Spencer Dinwiddie for Brooke Lopez, which would have sucked for Milwaukee. At least we would have got something back. There's our backup point guard that we're looking for now. And then like a Day'Ron Sharp and Spencer Dinwiddie for Brooke Lopez. Whatever. It's something, but there's better deals out there than that. That's just the first one that came to mind. But like, fine, maybe we take on Rashawn Holmes and Harrison Barnes.
No.
I'm just saying.
Why do we got to talk these hypothetical trades though? Like we brought back our guys. Like, yeah, they're aging and yeah, they're slightly overpaid, but like this year's overpay is next year's like, and like these, we know that a healthy Chris is excellent. And Brooke has been slow his entire career. So people saying like this wants to be a run and gun team and everything, like Brooke has always been who he is, only he's gotten better at shooting and better at blocking shots. So like he is ageless in terms of like what he brings to the team, unless his back falls out, which is about the only thing stopping him now. But still, like,
can we win another?
Yes, we can. We are 2 years away from 2 years removed from a championship where Brooke was coming off of an entirely injured season, and then Giannis injury this year, Middleton injury this year. I mean, we haven't had those three consistently healthy together for an entire season and postseason run since the championship.
Why is that, Doug?
I get it, but
because we're old.
But man, that you can't just say that in general, though. Injuries happen. It's the NBA.
Exactly, and that's why we won a championship. because James Harden and Kyrie Irving weren't there, and Kevin Durant has a big ass foot. Otherwise, do you think we win that series? Do you think we win that series? Be honest.
I don't want to play that game because it's
let's be honest. Let's go. Let's be honest.
I don't know. It was a very competitive series.
Exactly. So I think I think it was a very talented team, and Pat Connaughton shot his butt off that playoff series. And that's how you kind of went. Like
he made clutch shots. I don't know if he shot like super well.
But my point is,
maybe the stats don't say he did, but
I think that's how every NBA team wins a championship. Like Miami was that close because they got hot. Denver ended up winning because Jamal Murray all of a sudden looked great, and Bruce Brown looked like Chris Middleton, and then like Toronto, like you go through every team, and they all had like Lakers. They had 5 months off because they had a bunch of injured guys. There's reason. Yeah. It's not just, hey, we have all the talent, so we're going to win. You got to have some luck. So we had a lucky season.
Yeah.
We had a lucky season. That's why we won the championship. I think we are a very talented team. And adding Drew Holiday, I said, this gives us – I don't like the Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez stuff, but Drew Holiday coming to this team, I think we have a chance to win. And sure, that plus Bobby Portis and then some luck helped us win a championship. Can we luck into that again? Maybe.
Yeah.
But I think we would have had a better chance going a little younger and kind of open our window a little more. And it's not unrealistic that could have happened. We had two of the top 10 free agents in the offseason. Right. We could have signed and traded one of them and let one go and then just get younger. Maybe we're not a top 5 team, but maybe we're a top 6 and some of that luck hits.
But one thing you do know is, and I know, like you said, the whole injury and getting old thing, but like we do know if these guys are healthy, we are a contender. Like, and no one can deny that. If Drew, Chris, Brook, and Giannis are playing together, we are a contender. We're a top 3 team in the league if those 4 guys are healthy.
I thought that it kind of, we're like the slightly younger Lakers. They need LeBron and AD to stay healthy, and you say that, and you're like, "Well, that's a big if."
I get it.
We're like the next. We're like the next below that.
Yeah.
And we're like, we are a title contender if.
Yeah, but like I'm cool, and I that's a great. I like that analogy a lot, but I'm cool with that because like professional sports injuries happen every year, man. Someone different could win the Super Bowl every year if this injury didn't happen. Someone different could win, the World Series if they didn't lose, if this pitcher didn't go down, blah, blah, blah. So like that stuff happens. So like and this is just my line of thinking, but I always like to go with what I know and then deal with what happens because of it. And we know those guys, when they are on, it works. And yeah, if you make these trades and stuff and get younger and blah, 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 looks great. We don't know if it's going to work. Very well could. But I think when you're just this far, barely removed from a championship window and a couple of bad luck injuries, I think you just run it back. I really do. And then by then, if the next 2 years don't work out, Giannis might already be to the point where it's like, maybe, who knows? He's not a spring chicken anymore either. Like I'm not
right.
The way Giannis plays, him not ever being able to shoot and not being a true center, like who knows? Maybe 2 years down the road, we might want to watch all this.
Speaking of breaking news and things breaking, did you guys hear about his knee?
Yeah.
Well, I saw the pictures of him playing at some park. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I'm like, what the hell are you wearing a leg sleeve for? And there's a pad in there. And then I got a
minor cleanup procedure. Yeah.
Same as Chris Middleton. Same thing. So they're getting older. Okay, let's move on because we've been on this a while. So our main 4 are back.
Yeah.
After that,
another re-sign. Let's do another re-signing quick. We re-signed.
Which let's agree, when none of us thought he'd be back.
Nope, and I'm glad he is.
Just another. They don't want to give up the asset, and I thought it was interesting that
I think
haven't released the numbers yet. I think they did that for him, but I think they did that. I think they are keeping that quiet because he's got pride. You take this lesser money, but we're not going to throw it out there until we'll sneak it out there later.
Either that or he's going to be the mid-level.
I doubt it.
He could be.
Yeah. Could be.
He very well could be. Because they released Robin's contract. They released who we're going to get to in a little bit here. I think he could be the 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The point is, he's back. I think he's Chris Middleton insurance.
With Jay and his experience in the league too, though, like with us signing him to the minimum, I think it'll be like a $3.2 million minimum deal for him. The league will cover the 1.2 after 2 million. So there's only going to be, if he signs for the minimum with his years of experience, his contract will only count 2 million towards our cap, even though he will be getting paid 3.2.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, so it's like, really, if he signed the minimum, 2 million against our cap, sweet. So I'm cool with it. I mean, and yeah, honestly though, you gave up those 5 picks. I know they're second rounders, but like, you gotta try. Bud didn't try with him, and Jay can play. We know Jay can play.
Except all the highlights of Jimmy going right around him. Those scare me. You ever see some of those?
Yeah, I know, but he didn't play all season, and he had no confidence whatsoever. I think this new coaching staff is really going to hype him up.
Could be, yeah.
And again, to my point before, though, to side with Jay and the Bucks, Jimmy was on one of those heaters where it's like, hey, we're going to go to the finals.
Yep.
So there's a re-signing. We also brought back Robin Lopez.
Yeah, baby. Rolo.
Get your wrestling highlights ready.
Right. So that means Thanasis is definitely coming back.
And if we
got to.
We don't, we talked about
and that means Wes Matthews has to come back.
No,
part of that.
Stop. No,
bring them all back.
I'm just saying.
No,
bring them all back.
No, well, you gotta give him a coach's contract.
He's got nothing else. Put Wes on the coach.
He's got to do these highlights.
Yeah.
These
Did you know he played at Marquette?
Yes. We have one roster spot open. And we're not giving it to Wes Matthews. If we're gonna bring brothers in, let's bring one that actually has talent in, and bring in Aaron Holiday.
I would love it. Yeah. Let's do potential free agents at the end, though. Let's talk about who we do have.
Okay. We also signed this. So I said when we traded for Drew Holiday, I said we gave up a lot, but getting this guy, I think we have a chance to win the championship. I think Malik Beasley signing with the Bucks and what he signed for is a chance to win the championship. Drew Holiday and Malik Beasley in the backcourt could be championship worthy.
I do think we need to pump the brakes I do think we need to pump the brakes a little. He had a really bad year for the Lakers. Really bad. He was horrendous from 3. So
that was his only bad.
I know, and they did want to give him 60 million prior to that. So I get it, but
he just got traded. So it's
no, I'm don't get me wrong, I'm excited for him, especially at this money. You betcha, and he can Buddy Hield it all day long. Just pull him, and I'm hoping he finds his shot and his confidence again. But he had a bad year, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So I'm hoping he can find his confidence and get his shot back. But he's young-ish. What is he? 26.
26. Yeah.
That's good.
Career 39. Career 39% shooter.
Yeah,
from 3.
I like it. Even if he's just high 30s, I'm cool with it for sure. So
career 35.
Don't expect a great defensive mentality, but again, we don't need it. Everyone's always
I was just gonna say we don't need that.
For the love of
God, career 26% in the postseason from 3.
See, and that's
Yeah, but he's been on bad year. I can't say bad.
Been on bad teams.
He's been on bad playoff teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, was last year his first playoffs? No, he went with the Wolves.
Right? Yeah, I was saying Timberwolves did make it that year. And that's the thing though, kind of like we've seen with Grayson, like great regular season 3-point shooter and not used to the big lights in the postseason. Only 1-year deal. So we'll see. I mean, this is minimum contract for this dude. This is amazing. I'm just saying,
the contract's amazing.
Pump the brakes. Maybe more of like a awesome shooter off the bench. Honestly, I wouldn't hate him in the.
At the very least, if Grayson still starts and Grayson's still on the team, which we'll get to in a second, if Grayson's not shooting good, somebody to bring in. All right, this is your game.
Yeah,
he's one of those guys.
Yeah, for sure.
To win a championship, he has one game in the playoffs where he had 24 points and went 4 for 6 from 3. He's a guy that could do that.
Yeah, he definitely could. And even if he comes off the bench, like having Malik and Bobby coming off the bench as your 6'7", hell yeah.
I like that a lot. Which we should get into this. So the rumor was we were looking for our final roster spot. So if you factor in all our signings, the guys we had, the rookies, And Amari Moore not making the 15-man roster, maybe a two-way. There is 14 guys signed.
I hope he gets a two-way, and I hope AJ Green gets the last roster spot.
And that's also
Jabari
also Jabari Parker not getting the last roster spot. Maybe
Jabari Parker's not even going to play on the summer league team now.
Oh, he's not.
Yeah, for
family
personal reasons, he's not going to play. So
yeah, that was a shame.
Yeah.
So we have one roster spot left.
It's kind of like on the Fresh Prince when he shoots the game-winning shot, and everyone can't wait for it to go in, and then he just completely airballs it.
Yeah,
I was excited, but I'm over it.
So there was a rumor that the Bucks wanted to trade Grayson Allen or Pat Connaughton to the Utah Jazz for Colin Sexton for a new bet, since Javon Carter signed with the Bulls and he's gone.
This NBA insider GOAT has been the big Twitter leak source.
I've heard it from a few different people.
Yeah.
And then basically Utah said, no, we'll take Bobby Portis something for him. So that's the rumor. And then the Bucks went out and signed Robin Lopez, who could possibly be that Bobby Portis somewhat replacement. Also Jay Crowder. Those two guys together could replace what Bobby Portis brought. Let's be honest. And then they signed Malik Beasley, who could be the Grayson Allen or Pat Connaughton replacement if they're shipping both of them to Utah for, let's say, Colin Sexton, and I saw maybe Chris Dunn or one of the young guys on Utah. Which, first of all, I don't know why Utah would want to do that, because they just traded for John Collins, and they don't have a point guard.
Right. Colin Sexton's going to be their point guard by default, just because he's going to have to be.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to ship him out, sure. I don't believe that's
or Clarkson, I guess, but whatever. Yeah.
And believing that, sure, maybe they do want Bobby Portis and trade one of their guys for more assets. I could see that, and I could also see Bobby Portis saying, nah, this is all trash, because quite frankly, he was nothing amazing anywhere besides Milwaukee. Milwaukee signs him. They get the Bobby in the playoffs, but he wins a championship. And then, yeah, obviously he doesn't want to be traded. So any rumors out there, he's going to shit on him, obviously. Yep. So I don't know how much of it's true. I've read it from a couple different sources, but honestly, I'd like to just sign Aaron Holiday. If we're signing brothers and twins, Justin's gone. We need a backup point guard. Aaron Holiday's out there. Go get him.
Hell, even I would be cool with Kelly Oubre. I don't think he'll take a minimum, but and then just tell Malik.
Need a point guard.
Tell Malik
we need a point guard.
You can bring the ball up court, can't you?
Or maybe Andre Jackson Jr.
Maybe.
We do need a point guard.
We do. I know.
I thought.
So that leads into this conversation before we forget to mention it. So Javon Carter signed with the Bulls.
Yeah.
For a pretty decent contract for Javon Carter. 3 years, $6.25 million. Or 3 years, 19. So he's getting like $6.25 million per. I think it's an overpay. I don't know why the Bulls would want to make that contract, but I wish him well. I was kind of in the camp. I've said it previously. I was in the camp of, I don't think we need to pay Javon. I'll bring him back for the minimum, but I just don't think he's a playoff contributor. I love the dude. He's amazing. He's a dog. He works his ass off, but he ain't gonna do it in the postseason. And then
he wasn't gonna come back for less than $4 million.
I don't think he was either.
For him.
Yep. And then our potential other, second unit, ball handler, Joe Ingles, signs with the Magic for 2 years, 22.
Yeah, he's a free agent. He's a free agent winner.
Oh, he is the free agent winner. That dude has no knees and is 40 years old and didn't play that well for the Bucks this year. And for some reason, they must have just brought him in to be like, hey, can you just be a dad to all these guys in the locker room? Because
he's a great passer, and they brought some guys in that really need help with facilitating.
And he honestly coming off of a major injury for the Bucks this year, so I get it. But wow, good for him. I still love Joe Ingles. I hope he does well.
But back to the Bucks,
his kids can go to Disney every day.
So there you go.
Yes, they can. We got 3 minutes, by the way. So
I don't think the Bucks have a true point guard on this team, and don't get me wrong, I don't think Aaron Holiday is a true point guard, but it's at least somebody like his brother who can bring the ball down the court and play as your point guard. Because I don't think Drew Holiday is a pure point guard. He's not an elite passer. This is why we talked about getting Tyus Jones an episode or two ago, because he is a true point guard. Do we have a shot at getting him? Probably not, unless we're going to ship out all of our second-round picks and a pick swap for Tyus Jones.
Does Utah take Pat in a second for Chris Dunn.
That's what I was saying. Like Chris Dunn's a true point guard.
Yeah. We're
I'd
talking
be fine.
Utah trades.
I'd be fine. We have our mid-level. If we don't use it on Jay Crowder, or whatever we have left, give it to Aaron Holiday. There's our roster.
Yep. Any true point guard out there.
Everybody got their brother back. Chris got his money. That's what I would do. Do I see that happening? No, because it's the Bucks and they never do what I like besides a Drew Holiday trade and a Malik Beasley signing.
Yeah.
So,
Patrick, final thoughts?
I thought I wasn't allowed to give final thoughts. Do you guys want to hear who we still have cap holds on?
Yes.
AJ Green, Myers Leonard, Wes.
At this point, no thank you. We have 3 shooting guards.
Goran Dragic, but here's the last one that I didn't realize we have a hold on is Jeff Teague. There's your backup.
No thanks.
No, if anything,
won a title with it.
Yes, he did.
I don't know if
I'm joking, but I could not believe that we still had him.
Yeah, that's funny.
Did Kendrick Nunn sign anywhere? Because he was rumored to the Bucks.
No, that's a good one too. That would be a great one. He had an off year last year, but he was injured. So,
did I say DeSumo from Chicago?
Ayo Dosunmu would be amazing too. I just don't think he would take the minimum or even the.
He's not going to.
Yeah.
He's breaking news.
Young guard. Breaking news.
The Sixers signed Mo Bamba.
Did they actually?
Oh, that's a great pick.
Yeah. I like that for them actually. Yeah.
Speaking of a tall, skinny man, Bol, I wouldn't mind him as the 15th guy.
Yeah, he got waived by Orlando. Yep. Yeah.
Actually, you're
going robotic,
so
right?
Linked to the
full robot mode.
Everybody else going robotic. Everybody else is.
Oh, this is bad. He doesn't even know it, Patrick.
Can you hear me now?
Good.
I do know it.
There you go. You got 45 seconds.
Can you hear me now?
What do you want to wrap up?
I'm fine. Just you guys go ahead.
Oh, you were going full R2D2 there for a little bit. Only like
the kids must have turned on TV downstairs. One time I didn't use my internet on my phone.
There you go.
Yeah, so that's gonna probably wrap up pretty much our NBA Part 2 podcast.
We'll definitely talk some more Bucks off-season stuff because I think Trader John's got something up his sleeve. So
right, and obviously the Dame and the Harden trades are going to happen, and there's still quite a few free agents that can make a difference.
Yep,
the Bucks might make a trade yet.
We got other stuff we want to talk about. It's just this: you can't not spend a whole podcast the way we do things on basketball with what's been going on. So.
Right.
Like Bryce said, I want to eventually do some fantasy football stuff. I definitely want to talk NFL. That's my bread and butter beyond basketball. Bryce wants to do some baseball.
The Brewers.
The All-Star break here. Brewers. So even if you're not a Wisconsin sports fan, you can always come join.
Update on the Brewers Cubs. Because it's been a fun series so far. They've come back from 2 games. It is tied 1-1 in the 5th.
Nice.
Is the roof open?
That I don't know. I'm not watching the game.
You made a oof. Is there something before we go?
No.
All right.
Where can you find us on socials?
We're on Facebook, the Nosebleed section, and we have a Gmail account because that's how you do it. A Gmail account. Just like life advice with Rosillo. He hasn't returned my email, by the way.
YouTube. You got YouTube.
This is true. Our Gmail is the Nosebleeds 23, the number 23 at Gmail. So the Nosebleeds 23 at Gmail. We are on YouTube now, the Nosebleed section with Doug and Bryce. So find us on those things. Hopefully you're watching this video and we'll make some more stuff. 2 videos on YouTube now.
I won't do the like, share, subscribe yet. We're too new. Maybe next episode.
Yeah.
Find us wherever you get your podcasts.
Where all great podcasts are found.
And comment who has
we're actually only on Spotify. So
Spotify. There you go.
But that's the best place to be. Yep. Last
comments tell us who has the best background.
It's clearly me. Mine is in honor of Andre 3000 has a new album coming out next week. So
I tried to find one with
oh my god,
Brunson.
Coffee Black, baby.
I tried to find one with Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, since he signed with the Knicks, so he's reunited with Josh Hart and Brunson. And then across the bridge or whatever the hell they got in New York. Mikhail Bridges is in Brooklyn, so
yeah.
But
all them Nova boys back in the band.
Yeah,
together, kind of.
And then Crumble Cookies are 20-second fake ad.
There we go. All right. Well, let's get out of here so I don't have to edit this video any further than it already needs to be.
Peace.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Peace. Bucks and 6.